picture?
Yes.
No. Are you ready?
Yes.
So that's great. So at the beginning of my speech, I'd like to welcome you inside Egypt, especially welcome in our gallery. My name is Mohammed, as 99% of Egyptian. I'm going to be a local guide explaining for you everything about this plant, which we call it papyrus or papyrus plant. And I'm going to show you how in ancient Egypt, from this plant, they succeeded to make the first and the oldest paper in the history, which we call it the real papyrus paper. So this is the shape of the papyrus, which is aquatical and a tropical water plant that needs sunny weather and a great amount of water to grow. For that, papyrus grow close enough to the river Nile. Also in ancient Egypt, they consider that plant to be a holy plant. They worship the papyrus because of two main reasons. The first one, if you look to the flower of the plant, and you could see that the flower that have a lot of branches, all of these branches looks like the rays of the sun, which refer to Amun-Ra, the sun god in ancient Egypt. The second reason is going to be the stem of the plant, which take the triangular shape, which close enough to be like the pyramid. And the pyramidal shape in ancient Egypt, this is the shape which refer to eternity and everlasting. To make the paper out of the plant, we are going to cut the plant from the stem according to the size we need it for the paper. Smaller or medium or bigger, so let's suppose size like that. So we are going to make a paper like this size. So we started to remove the green cover like this way. I'm professional to cut that. Usually my wife forces me to do the salad in the house. I have enough skills. Anyway, the green cover of the papyrus, that is a very strong cover, so that would be difficult for anybody to cut it. In ancient Egypt, they used these covers for sandals, boots, baskets, shirts, and so many stuff. But the most important part is the white inner part, because from the white part we are going to make the paper. So we are going to cut the white inner part to thin slices like that.
Does it have a grain that it cuts that easily?
Yeah, but it have something inside, like a sugar, but not like a sugar cane. Look to the white inner part, it is breakable. You could break it easily because it contains an amount of sugar and water inside. To reduce the sugar and water which we have inside, we use this. So what do you call it at your home? Mallet. Mallet. So do you have something like that in your kitchen for tenderizing meat for the meals? If the ladies use this one for something else? Exactly. Because I have a lot of my friends told me that ladies use that one for their husbands if they come late at night. But you know, in Egypt, ladies didn't prefer to do something like that. In Egypt, ladies prefer to use that because that's more stronger. So we are going to use that one to reduce the sugar and water which we have inside like this. Also, we are going to use the rolling pin like that. So after we use the mallet and the rolling pin, you are going to see that the slices is going to be more stronger, flexible than the first time. You could roll it easily, not broken. Then we'll put these slices in the water, just fresh water. 6 days in the water, we are going to have the lighter color of papyrus paper. 10 days in the water, we are going to get the darker color of papyrus paper. This is the same quality between the lighter and the darker. The only difference, how many days we keep the slices in the water. 6 days the lighter one, 10 days the darker one. After keeping the slices in the water for 6 or 10 days, we started to arrange the slices between two pieces of carpet. In ancient Egypt, and instead of this carpet, they used the skin of the animals to arrange the slices. Just one vertical and one horizontal like that. Just side by side, one beside one. Overlap each other like weaving net. Something like that way. Until we complete the size which we wanted for the paper. Then we are going to cover it again like that and put it under that press for another 6 days. In ancient Egypt, and instead of the press, they use the heavy stones or blocks of granite to do something like that. That means 6 days or 10 days in the water, 6 days more under the press like that. And I think you don't have much time to wait for 6 days. So for that, I'm going to say like abracadabra, hocus pocus. 6 more, we are going to get the original sheet of papyrus paper like that. So how we get the paper like that? Because when we keep the slices in the water, the rest of sugar and water it changed to become kind of natural glue, which make the slices stick together like this. That paper considered the first and the oldest paper in the history. That paper, it's very strong paper. See the paper? You can roll it easily, not broken. The paper itself that's able to use any kind of colors or any kind of ink in the painting itself. But take care, because in many places, especially in front of the museum, in the local markets, in the pyramid area, you are going to see some people selling paper like that in a plastic case saying papyrus for $1. This is not papyrus. This is another paper made out of banana leaves or sugar cane, which is completely different than the other paper which we have. After we make these plain papyrus, we send this paper to the artists who started to draw all of these paintings which are on us. Each of these paintings are going to get the sign or the signatures of the artists who do this painting. So now I'm going to give you the highlights about the most famous stories we have in ancient Egypt, and this is the most famous one. Did you see this scene before? Yes. Do you know the story or you just see the scene? Okay, anyway, in ancient Egypt, once they decided to build the pyramids, they believed that there will be another life after death. They believed the resurrection. So they said that the judgment day should be done for you before you started your second life. So this is what we call it the judgment day or the last trial. That's the representation of the dead man in ancient Egypt. He's kneeling in front of 14 judges. All of them, they asked him just for what he done in his first life. And they could see the dead man in a kneeling position, swearing, I haven't done anything bad, I haven't done anything wrong in my first life. So, the first 7 of the judges, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first 7 who have that symbol, which we call it the key of the life, they support the dead man and they say, he was a good man with good deeds, with good heart. So in that case, he should go to be at the paradise, as the ancient Egyptian people believe. But the rest 7 of the judges disbelieve him and say no. He was a bad man with bad deeds, with bad heart. So he should go to hell. So now we are in problem. We have 7 against 7. We don't know exactly if it's good or bad. In that case, we send the dead man to Anubis, the main god of the mummification, who leads the dead man to the skull, where he's going to start it to weighing the heart of the dead man against the feather, which refer to the justice in ancient Egypt. If the heart is going to be heavier than the feather, that means he had a heavy heart. He's a guilty person. If he was a guilty person, he's going to be eaten by the god of punishment, whose name is Yum Yum, who refer to the hell. Second case of the feather, which refer to the justice, is going to be heavier than the heart. That means he's a good person. If he was a good person, he's going to have a permission from the god of wisdom and writing, and followed by Horus, the god of protection, who leads the dead man to go to the paradise, where he's going to meet Osiris, the god of the afterlife or the god of the paradise. This is considered the most famous legend we have in ancient Egyptian history, and one of the main chapters of the Book of Death. There is another story we are going to talk about. This is what we call it the Egyptian calendar, which you consider the first and the oldest calendar we have in the history. And you could see that the 4 couples refer to the 4 main directions: east, west, north, south. The 4 single ladies refer to the 4 seasons: summer, winter, autumn, spring. The total of all of them is going to be 12, refer to the 12 months of the year. their hands is going to be 24 hours of day and night. 52 figures in the middle refer to the 52 weeks. The tree of the life, which refer to the 5 stages of the life, like birth, childhood, youth, middle age, old age. By the way, the material of the main papyrus paper that's able to use any colors and any ink. But now we have an artist who do bump in papyrus style. So if you don't mind, just follow me to the last corner of the gallery. We have a special section for this artist to show you what he do to be one of the famous artists in Middle East nowadays. Just would you mind follow me?